Hi guys, welcome to my tarot channel. Please check for timestamps below so you can hop directly to a tarot reading for Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Hello Taurus gang, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading. We're doing it a little differently this time. We're pulling random cards from random decks that have been shuffled off camera. Let me get into my spiel. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something and better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, that's completely fine. Please do push them aside. Trust that they're going out to someone else who needs to hear them. But do keep in mind they may resonate for you in the future as well. Trust your intuition to separate what is meant for you and what is not. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. Got a lot of cards coming out here. That being said, we're going to set the intention to get you some clear, helpful, insightful messages. There's really no specific timestamp to this. I'm recording it in the new year, so happy new year, Taurus gang, Taurus squad. But yeah, if you stumble upon this video, there's likely something in here that you can take away. Last but not least, they're coming out in twos today. I don't know what it is. All right, and then we'll get you an oracle card. We're going to hop right in. For Taurus. So you have change. Someone else had that card too. And then you have healing. Yeah, that doesn't surprise me because I'm already seeing several cards of healing. Three of Swords, Chiron, the Star. So yeah, something is in flux, figuring itself out still. Maybe that's you participating in some sort of relationship. It starts off kind of cute. I like the Page of Wands to the Sun. That's like exploration of your inner child. It could quite literally be hanging out with children, working with children, spending more time with your child. The Page of Wands frequently is very curious. I think that's a good word. It's wand energy, so it's fire sign energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Of course, this could be representing you as well. But it's that fire, it's that inner spark, it's that desire to grow and expand and, essentially like what inspires you, what brings you joy, what excites you, and where are you wanting to explore? Where is your imagination, your creativity leading you, especially into the Sun, a huge card of creativity. Here it's like a card of warmth. It feels very much like it's talking about some sort of project maybe going on in the house, in the home. There could be a lot of reflections back on your own childhood. And not to say that was all positive or all, sunshine and rainbows. I'm thinking probably not with the Three of Swords. But there is a very nice message here too of I don't know if you're quite literally building the home of your dreams or you're envisioning, you're maybe vision boarding, within the new year. It's like kind of resetting goals and maybe making some realistic notes and strides on how you want to achieve that or how you want to accomplish that. There's also a very important message for some of you about the relationship with the father. And I don't predict scary stuff, but I do sort of get the sense of understanding a shift in time and that time is passing and that time is fleeting, and there could be a parent-child relationship involving a father, whether that's you or it's, your father, Taurus, where things are maybe not the same as they used to be. And I'm getting more the idea of like old age or illness or something that it's been a struggle. And I think you've sort of had to rise above and be the parent. Maybe you have and I suppose it doesn't have to be a father, but with the Sun, I don't know, I'm just really getting that. I'm just getting this idea that you've kind of had to step up and be the adult or be the parent in this situation. And I don't mean this in a condescending way, but almost having to clean up the messes of other people. And for some of you, that's going to resonate on multiple levels. Like quite literally, you may be dealing with someone who's bedridden, right? And you quite literally are cleaning up, the mess. I'm just going to leave it at that. And I think there's a lot of nostalgia and looking back on the good stuff. And I think there's also a need to make amends with things that are still sort of paining your heart a little bit. And maybe it's not necessarily confronting someone with, the long-held resentment you've had. It's funny, I just get this very like a peaceful letting go. And it's harder than that, right? I'm not trying to gloss over it or glamorize it. But I think with the Sun card, it brings healing, it brings rejuvenation, it brings growth, it brings warmth. I think there might be there might be a conversation where you're not exactly saying what's really being said. However, there's crystal clarity on for both parties with the interpretation of the underlying messages. It's like almost the opposite of addressing the elephant in the room. I'm trying to give you a good metaphor, but it's like you guys know exactly what you're talking about. There may have been an issue or a moment or multiple incidences or situations growing up where, again, you kind of had to come through as the hero, or you were held to be responsible for things that you were wildly beyond what a child should have to take on. And I think I'm just getting whoever this is, likely a parent figure, they know that. And I think for many years you were waiting for the acknowledgement or the apology. And I think you've come to terms with the fact that you're probably not going to get it from this person, but it doesn't mean that they don't hold a lot of guilt or just at minimum understanding that you were put in an unfair position. And I think there's a conversation where if you read between the lines, you both are talking about the exact same thing. And with that, there is a sense of freedom and liberation from something that was very, very heavy and stuck in your energy. And it's like just being able to release that, it's like a weight off your shoulders, a weight off your chest. It's like your inner child is able to like be happy and gleeful again because they're not being slapped with this unfair responsibility. And just the idea of holding the grudge, right? It's like swallowing poison and expecting the other person to suffer. This is a challenging relationship. I'm getting that it's been an ongoing challenging relationship. For some of you, this may make sense in another capacity. It's possible this could be a romantic relationship. That's not the first thing that comes to mind. And I'm sorry that this is getting so heavy right from the get-go, but ultimately I'm here to serve the messages, so I have faith that even if it's one or two of you, somebody needs to hear this, right? It might not be the majority of you. And we will move away from this. I just want to wrap it up with, if this is not a parent-child dynamic, you are with a romantic partner who seems to be in crisis of some kind, especially with their physical health. There may have been, like a scare with an illness or some diagnosis where it's really put things in perspective. And to your credit, Taurus, likely, not likely, I would say arguably one of the most loyal signs of the zodiac. You show up for your people despite some of the things that they've done to you in a lower vibration. Because I think you see the forest from the trees. I think as much as there's been something very heavy and weighted about your relationship with this person, that's what I mean. It's like you didn't necessarily choose to engage in this relationship. It almost felt like it happened, and then you kind of got sucked into that's what I mean. It's like it might be by blood. It might be a family member. If it is romantic, maybe you have children together, so you're still having to work with that person, whether you're together or not. But it's almost like you show up because you hear the calling. You know it's the right thing to do. And again, like you're able to rise above the bullshit. And I'm not exactly sure what this exchange is, but ultimately you do get a confirmation from, I don't know if it's from a higher power. It could be a more spiritual recognition. That you did the best you could, and that was really effing good. Again, I'm just wanting to reiterate, like, you shouldn't have had to do what you were forced to do, and you made it through. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Your wounds are your wisdom. You have great skills and abilities and knowledge that this person lacked and didn't have in themselves, and so they leaned on you for support. And you've set yourself up for fantastic karma. So just know that. All right, we're gonna move away from that. That feels very heavy. But it also feels very like there's a releasing. I just heard the word Pluto, right? Planet Pluto. It's at the anaretic degree in Capricorn, so it's like, again, like Capricorn representing father figures in general, authority figures, challenging relationships that don't necessarily give, but bring us down to our knees in order to make us realize our own inner strength. There's something there. It's possible this may involve a Leo, a Libra, a Sagittarius. It doesn't have to. Those are just some ideas. All right, moving on. King of Swords to the healing card of Chiron. Yeah, Chiron is our wounded warrior, the person inside us that is broken. And I feel like I've lost you all already. This is a heavy one this week, guys, for sure. I feel it. Ultimately, though, where our Chiron is placed, it's like a planet essentially, right? That's an area in our chart where we are always going to be incredibly sensitive and feeling lack and not feeling good enough. It's a wound. It's maybe something we were teased about or self-conscious about, or a place where we lacked love and desperately never felt like we received it. Again, there's this message of your wounds are your wisdom, but it's so much more than that. It's like you're not the victim, you're the survivor of something, and moving forward, that's going to be a source of inspiration for you in helping to guide others. Some of you are, with the King of Swords, it's like profound truths, profound speech. I'm not trying to make it related to this, but for some of you, if that storyline did relate, it seems like you're taking something from that experience and you're writing like a best-selling book. And I hate to make it tacky like that. That's not my intent. It's like, oh, let's materialize this. But ultimately, like, you experience something incredibly profound that not everybody goes through, but those who have probably suffer in silence. And so you're putting it out there in a very brave, bold, I don't know, fierce, but yeah, a very brave, bold way to be like, you know, like, let's talk about this thing people don't talk about, because it's crushing when you go through it. But I'm here to let you know, like, that's not the end of the journey. Like, I've been through it. I'm here. I'm showing up, and, you know, learn from me. Let me tell you how I did it. And it's not to say you're perfect. It's not to say you have it all figured out. That's not the point. It's like it's something, I'm hearing unity. It's like bringing people together who have this shared experience. And, you know, by shining light on it, the sun, it's no longer the monster. It's not the skeleton in our closet that we have to pretend isn't there. This may have to do with like an abusive relationship in any sense of the word, especially with this emperor. Like, this is a pretty, this is a challenging emperor, right? He's not warm and fuzzy, right? The emperor is Aries energy, and that's not to put any slight on the sign of Aries, right? That's just, it's associated with planet Mars. So in a lower vibration, you know, any Mars ruled sign, anybody who has a strong Mars that is being challenged by other planets, right? It can be very defensive. It can be very controlling. It can be violent. It can be abusive. It can be loud. It can be harsh. It can be hot. It can be brash. You know, all these kind of like, you know, it's like, I always picture Mars as like the race car driver, like, and you're off. Like, you can't catch it. It's super fast. It's super hot. And it's just like, and it can be a little bit dangerous, right? There's a mourning and a loss and a sadness, but through that, there's also light at the end of the tunnel. There's some sort of empowerment. Whew, yeah, I think there's a lot of inner wounded child healing going on, but the thing is, you've made it to the healing part. This isn't the tarot spread that's like things are getting really bad and you need to find a way out. This is saying to me, like, props to you, Taurus, because you found the way out. You've seen the light now. You've had, I don't know if it's an epiphany. I do have a Tower card here. Interesting. But yeah, there's some sort of starting to see things from a different perspective and understanding your ability to grow away from this and not have it be the thing that holds you back, or not have it be that inner critic, or that, that those false narratives, those false beliefs that are constantly telling you that you're not good enough. So double Aquarian energy here. I don't know why. I always point out the King of Swords is Aquarius. It doesn't have to be that, but there's something incredibly powerful about the King of Swords to me, and I attribute the similar traits to Aquarian energy. You know, typically I read the Kings as like the fixed energy, but of course it doesn't have to be that. I just want to point that out for those who don't know. But anyway, again, the Star is a card of healing. It's about aligning to your future and your destiny, and it's about the linking of people, the linking of channels, right? It's not a water sign, Aquarius, but it is the water bearer. So it's the idea that, you know, where you empty your vessel, essentially, it moves into everything else. It's like the lymphatic system or veins or something like that. Like, it carries things throughout the body. That's very Aquarian, right? It branches out. It's a symbol of friendship, of groups, of communities. So even if you're at a distance, you're still connected. What are you connected by? The trials and tribulations that you've gone through. And I don't know that who you is, but it's you among groups of people. You may be giving a speech. Again, you may be writing an article. You may be raising funds or donations for some sort of cause or charity, speaking up against, I don't know what this is, but it's like you're in a leadership role to take authority, control, and by doing that, it's like you're allowing other people to hear and allow others to be heard, people who've gone through similar experiences. instead of letting things hold you back from the past or having fog or clouds or confusion, any Five of Swords, it's like a challenging energy where there's a little bit of chaos, there's a little bit of upheaval. So sometimes our game plan, that mercurial, mind energy, it gets kind of lost and it throws us off our course. Again, it throws us off our path, our journey, our destiny, or whatever. This is sort of going back and rewriting the wrongs. I don't know if that's the best way to phrase it, but making amends with something from the past that especially mentally was holding us back. It's very interesting because when you look, there's not a lot of cups here. So that's sort of why I'm like, I don't know if this was romantic. I'm not saying it couldn't be. But with a lack of cups, I'm not sure how much emotional investment you had in this versus mental connection, meaning like you were kind of forced to make room for it in your brain, in your life, in your space. It's almost like you had to organize things for this person, or you had to, there was some sort of duty or responsibility and almost an unspoken requirement to maintain connection and communication. Maybe you were making doctor's appointments for this person. Maybe you were their advocate in some way. Maybe you were having to make legal decisions for them. There's some sort of burden or responsibility, but I'm not sure it was out of, I don't know. I'm wanting to say, I'm not sure it was because I love you so much and I'll go to the end of the earth for you. I don't get that. This doesn't feel super romantic to me. This feels like you were born into a challenging circumstance where you had to rise above and be the hero, essentially. I mean, I kind of love that for the Page of Wands. It's like, little did this little Page of Wands, this 6, 7, 8-year-old know that like he was about to embark on a hero's journey, 30 years earlier than everybody else, typically would, right? It's almost like you got the Saturn return at age 6, which I'm joking, that's not like a thing, right? But it's like, yeah, you heavy burdens, heavy responsibility. And I mean, that doesn't totally surprise me, right? Taurus is a sign that is opposed by Scorpio, which can be a very chaotic, very dramatic, very extreme, psychologically challenging, potentially abusive energy, right? And I'm not saying that's the fate of all Tauruses, but, every zodiac sign has a polar opposite, and there's going to be a push and pull to bring out kind of the strengths of your character and to reveal the weaknesses, not to make you feel bad, right? Not to make you feel weak, but to show you areas for growth and self-development, essentially. This is very interesting. You do have a Tower card. This is kind of like a sexy, naughty deck, right? And I'm not sure how warranted that is here, but I think the message still stands. The Tower to the Five of Cups. Even though this likely wasn't a romance story, it absolutely impeded, penetrated, infiltrated into your romantic relationships. More in the mental plane, the mental sector, in terms of trying to reconcile who you are versus who this person was, what happened to you. Again, this is all very blurry to me. I'm not seeing with clarity exactly what happened, but I'm definitely getting some indications. And so if it's your story, you're going to know by now, right? This is not a future telling of what's to come. This is something you've been living with for probably, 20, 30, 40 years. That's the impression I get from this. A very controlling environment. That's a good word for, again, that lower vibration Scorpio energy. But yeah, it absolutely impacted your ability to be in romantic partnerships, especially if you grew up... I always hesitate to bring gender in because ultimately I think the story could be anyone's, but I am kind of getting the more specific example. Like, this feels like possibly someone who has daddy issues. Let's put it that way. An absent father, an abusive father, an alcoholic father, a father who was never around, abandonment issues, that kind of thing. And so an ability to connect with a lover, a romantic prospect, it was very void of emotions because I think there was fear of committing or investing emotions in someone, knowing that it could slip from your grip at any moment, because there wasn't that stability in your home. There wasn't that stability growing up. There wasn't that security and safety and promise. That being said, I know many Tauruses who have wonderful relationships with their father. So, maybe this is going to be a little bit different for those of you out there who resonate with this. I don't want to assume anything, but yeah, the tarot cards kind of paint a certain picture. So I get it. I hope this is hitting some of you in a profound way, because ultimately this is about the Tower, right? It all leads up to the Tower, where emotions were not freely expressed, and emotions were not freely felt. There was something bottled up for many years, and with the passing of time, with the passing of a person, with the energetic release as someone transitions into another stage or cycle or realm of life, however you want to say it, there's a lot of mental energy and thinking capacity of being able to try and clear something out that you felt was holding you back romantically, you know, maybe professionally, maybe you have difficulty with authority. It could be something like that. But ultimately, this is a time of healing. I don't know why I'm wanting to say temperance. This card kind of reminds me of temperance a little bit. So restoration, resetting the scale, finding balance, equilibrium, spending more time on your own health journey, your own spiritual journey, your own personal development. And again, there's like a liberation with the King of Swords. It's like not needing certain things anymore that were holding you back, because I'm hearing the word protector. Some of you feel very protected with, sorry, this is clunky, but it needs to be said. Something about animals. Animals are very soothing for you. There's something about animal therapy or feeling like a soul connection with animals. Yes, love that. Discover more of that. Research about it. You know, write a book about it. I don't know. Something about animals is playing a very important part here. I also think there is going to, if there isn't already, there's going to be future established loyalty in a romantic partner who is incredibly understanding and very open-minded. And I think the things that you felt ashamed of or embarrassed about, that you felt like you had to hide about yourself, they're going to love all of you. They're going to love every part of you. You're not going to have to hide anything from them, because your wounds, your darkness, your shadow, the right person is going to love all of that even more so, because they know that's the sensitive, vulnerable side of you that didn't receive that certain type of love or that, unmet need. They're going to come in, and I'm not saying they're going to come in and save the day and be the Superman, Superwoman, but like you've earned this person. You meet someone along your path and you had to go through this in order for this story to connect. It feels very, very spiritual. It feels very heavy, but this feels, maybe that's not the right word. This feels heavy, this feels light, but it's like they can't exist without one another. Thank you, Spirit. That's the perfect way of putting it. Like the darkness exists with the light. It's both. They need each other to define the other, you know? There could be something with a Scorpio coming in. You do have a lot of Scorpio energy. This may involve a Scorpio. Self-care, cards for Taurus. Avoid toxic people. Hang out with people who will uplift your spirit, not bring it down. Yeah, and some of you didn't always have that choice. Again, I don't know the circumstances, or maybe, and I'm not trying to diminish anything here, but maybe you didn't have the skills to recognize toxic people in your life. So maybe there was a cycle where you were bringing in people that didn't respect your space, didn't respect your body, didn't respect your mind, your heart, your boundaries. So there may have been a lifelong lesson here. But here's the thing. You seem to be climbing to the top now. You have a much different perspective. You're able to see the forest from the trees, and like you're not cleaning up people's shit anymore. You know, you've had your own messes to clean up, and now it's like you're looking for people who are healed and ready for you. And then denial to accept a situation, unhealthy cycles or addictions. That might be someone you're dealing with. Whoa, and that one popped right out. You have a special gift, never surrender to normal. Yeah, I'm going to put that by the King of Swords. I like that. Excuse me, I burped. Oof, Taurus, this one was heavy. If this resonated for you, please like the video. If you're brave enough, leave a comment. You know, I think it's cool if we can share our stories and learn from each other. But obviously, this is a deep one. And then the Hermit, yeah, new spiritual journeys, new insight, Virgo energy, live to serve. How are you going to take your story and put it out there so that other people can gain wisdom and insight and knowledge from your experience? Not that you have to, but I do think that essentially Virgo wants to share, right? They want to do something of use. So maybe it's taking someone under your wing. Maybe it's volunteering at Boys and Girls Club, or again, donating funds to women's shelters, or, you know, it's like making good out of something that was not good for you. But again, leaning into the survivor mentality, not the victim mentality. I get it. Some of you are still kind of on that cusp, on that border. You're going to start to see things a lot differently. Like, I am a badass. I am a warrior. Like, nobody I know ever had to go through something like that, and I did it, and I'm stronger because of it. I love it. Present moment, so be present, and then healing stones. Yeah. The crystal journey. If you're not already on it, may be a game changer for you as well. One of these for Taurus. Taurus. Don't worry, darling. You'll find your way. The red rose, overcoming obstacles, finding joy, and being carefree. I love that. Oh, I love that. Last but not least, it is Capricorn season, a fellow earth sign like you, so we're doing the Earth Magic Oracle cards. Try not to disrupt your spread, and we are going to read from the book. So for Taurus, to wrap this reading up, an oracle card, something I may have missed, something they need to hear in this reading. The Milky Way, perspective. Milky Way, Milky Way. Oops. M-E. Milky Way. All right, here we go. You have lost your perspective, so it is time to step back, breathe, allow yourself to detach in order to gather information from your senses and regain your perspective about the situation. Detachment does not mean that you no longer care. It simply indicates that you are looking for things from a different point of view. It is an outlook that is not clouded by emotions, judgment, or attachments to outcomes, but instead maintains a non-reactive awareness of these things. The witness, that internal aspect of yourself that simply observes everything in your life, offers his or her eyes here. Through these lenses of pure awareness, you can examine all aspects of your experience, physical, emotional, and mental, without denying anything. By doing so, you will come to understand a greater perspective that is typically justified by the ego, which allows you to see what is before you with clear vision and an open mind. Yeah, the sun can have to do with ego a little bit. I don't know why. Like, this isn't... I just feel called to pull these dice for zodiac signs that want to come out. I don't know why. Several times I felt like I needed to do that. So Capricorn, Cancer, again, that mommy, daddy, mother, father kind of sliding scale, the house, the family, the internal versus the external, who you are in society versus who you are in the home and private. Some of you may have been leading like a double life. Again, not necessarily by choice. Interesting. And then Gemini and Virgo. Yeah, interesting. That mercurial stuff. All right, Taurus, that's what I got for you. Sending you all my good vibes. This was a big one this week. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. Hello, Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to your tarot reading here at the Intuitive Teacup. We're doing it a little bit differently this time. I'm pulling random cards from random decks that have been shuffled off camera. But as always, please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something and better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate, feel free to push them aside. You may want to revisit them at a later time or date. Sometimes tarot messages make more sense in the future. So again, just be open to that. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. That being said, let's set the intention, get you some clear, fun, helpful, insightful messages. You got 2 aces, very lucky. Some fire, you got some air. Hope you guys are doing well. I have to admit to you, Leo, I feel like there's 2 here. There it is. There it is. There's a hidden high priestess. Is there a secret woman? Oh my, how scandalous. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I have to admit to you, I ugly cried a little bit because I had already recorded your reading, Scorpio's reading, and Aquarius's reading, and they're just gone off my laptop. I save them to the same folder every time, and I went to put them into my editing thing to upload them. They're gone. They're just gone. So anyway. Damn, Leo, you have some really good cards. So you know what? I think it was meant to be. My ugly tears were wasted. Ugly tears are always wasted. Ugly tears are never appropriate, right? No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, this looks cool. Let me play you an oracle card and we're going to hop right in. But what's up, guys? Thanks for supporting me and my channel. Hope you're doing well. Do hit the like button. It's my goal to grow this channel this year. So help me do that. Help me manifest that. Hit the like button. At the end, leave a comment, leave an emoji. Helps me gain some traction on YouTube and gets these messages out. All right, Leo, what's up? So, Ace of Swords to the Witch. That is the magician in this deck. This is the manifestations of new beginnings, having some sort of clarity in your thoughts, in your game plan, in your action, in your schedule, how you want to move forward. Essentially, the magician says, we have all the tools on our table, meaning we have all the things available to us that we need to create the life of our dreams. 10 of Cups. Let's just bask in that for a minute, right? 10 of Cups is the fairy tale ending. It's the happily ever after. And I think it's important to note the Ten of Cups doesn't show up in our life as the Ten of Cups. It shows up as usually as the Ace of Cups, or as an ace in general, right? It starts with a thought. We have to remember this isn't so much the materialization of all our wishes coming true. This is the feeling of everything I've ever wanted. What would that feel like? And quite frankly, a lot of us don't know, right? Because either we're not in a mindset that allows us to be grateful and see what we have available to us, or we're constantly putting other things, especially our happiness, up on a pedestal so that it's just out of reach, so that it's not something that's really available to us. It's something we're always going to work towards in the future. For some of you, there's almost like a recognition of like, you know what, like life is pretty damn good. Like maybe I'm not where I thought I would be. Maybe I'm not, fill in the blank, married. Maybe I don't have kids. Maybe I don't have my dream house. Maybe I don't have my, epic sports car that I want. Doesn't mean I can't get it because I'm a magician. I can manifest that shit. But also look at all that I've already accomplished. Look at all that I've already manifested. There's a really nice energy of gratitude here. And again, the recognition and realization, which I think everybody goes through stages of, that, oh, I'm chasing happiness again. I got to stop doing that. Like happiness is here. Happiness is now. Happiness is available to me. It is a state of mind. Happiness is absolutely a choice, right? But no matter how dark your story, no matter how grim life gets, there's always something that you got going for you. And I don't want to make it like the competitive thing, like go negative, but it's like there's always going to be someone who has it worse. Just when you think you're at the bottom of the barrel, right? You're going to meet someone out on the street who's, they've had trials and tribulations too. And so it's not about the competition. It's not about pitting people against each other. Obviously, with Ten of Cups, it's like bringing people together in love and support of one another, no matter where they're at. I said something really similar to, gosh, I don't remember what sign it was, but there's also a message here of, it may have been Aquarius, which actually would make sense. You guys are on that polarity together. Seeing somebody else in your life succeeding and doing the things that you want to do, it actually is serving as a catalyst for you to get out there and start making a game plan, at minimum, Ace of Swords, about how you want to move forward in your next endeavor, in your next chapter. There could also be a very helpful conversation or reaching out, asking a mentor, asking a partner, asking a friend, asking someone in your network about how they've achieved what they have. It's like, don't look at the people who are doing what you want to be doing as your competition, or just because they've done it already doesn't mean you can't. I think there's an important message here of being able to learn from people who you admire and look up to. And it goes both ways. It's like there's something very mutual here where you guys can support each other and cheer each other on and share sort of the, this feels work related to me. It's like share secrets of the trade. I don't know if that makes sense to everyone, but I also think, again, I'm not sure you necessarily see yourself as living your best life. If you do, great, more power to you. But I think you have a lot of attention on you right now. I think there's a lot of people who admire what you're doing and are giving you lots of praise and compliments. And I think it feels good. It's like, oh, thank you so much, being humble. But I'm not sure you actually believe it. So I'm sort of being asked to like underscore or reinforce, like, no, like you've come a really long way, Leo. Like bask in that, allow these people to sort of, stroke you, stroke your mane, so to say, the lion's mane, right? I said the same thing to Scorpio for sure. It's like whatever you want or whatever you have, people want some of it right now, which is kind of a cool message. So especially if you're an entrepreneur, if you work with clients, if whatever it is like there's big networking opportunities for you right now, particularly when we're moving into Aquarius season, right? Where I'm recording this in Capricorn season. I've been saying there's really no timestamp, but when Aquarius season hits, that's going to be like your 7th house partnerships, contracts, certainly romantic partnerships too. Some of you are manifesting the love of your life, or some of you may be manifesting the love of your dreams. And with that, it's not just in one person. It's sort of the love around you, the love that you want to create in your life and into the future. It seems big, but in a way that it's just, there's a flow to it. It's dreamy. You're not trying to control things and, I'm hearing the word manhandle. It's like you're not trying to force things to fit that don't. Like if things exit your life, there's like this ease of just, okay, I'm going to release it because it means it's not mine. If I'm forcing and struggling with something to fit in my life that I want and I think it's going to make me happy and it's just not working, then there's an understanding here with the Ace of Swords. Oh, okay, I should let that go because that must be blocking what's actually meant for me, what's meant to come in. I love this energy. It feels absolutely fantastic. And there's that release card. Release what doesn't serve you. And honestly, guys, like, don't beat yourself up, because sometimes we genuinely don't know. Sometimes we have to try something, someone on for size, right? Jobs, people, whatever it is. Sometimes we have to give something the benefit of the doubt and see. And then in time, we're going to realize, oh, yeah, no, that doesn't feel good. That's not for me. And there's no shame in that. Don't let your ego be hurt. Don't let it impact you in terms of, what is everybody going to think of me? They're going to judge me. I definitely get a story here of like maybe being afraid to, I don't know if afraid is the right word, but being cautious about who you share information with, because you don't want it to come back at you later. And quite literally judgment. I don't typically get this, but in this, especially with the Ace of Swords, Ten of Cups, some of you may feel very judged by your family, or feeling like when you roll the dice and strike out to do something, if it doesn't work out, it's like you beat yourself up enough for it, but you also feel like you hear it from those around you, and so it makes you not want to take risks, because you don't want to be ostracized. You don't want to be that person who has this track record of being unreliable. I would say you're a fire sign, right? So you're meant to take risks, you're meant to be bold, you're meant to be spontaneous. That's part of the Leo way, right? Calculated risks with the Ace of Swords. Again, the Magician says you have a lot available to you. You just have to, it's like your mind has to be in the right place to do it. So if you're manifesting things with fear, like what if it doesn't work out, and what are people going to think of me even though I love this, that's going to manifest like a clouded version of what you want. Like you have to be absolutely certain. You have to be able to see it, visualize it with the Ten of Cups, taste it, touch it, smell it, vision board it, right? Then move forward to create that life. But yeah, you don't need to be so hard on yourself. I think you need to release the inner critic, the self-judgment. That stems from a place of wanting to be perfect, the perfectionist syndrome, wanting to be a people pleaser, needing to know that your family likes and respects you. They do. They're your family, right? If anything, especially from siblings, there may be like jealousy, or even with parents, that can be a challenging thing when like your parents are jealous of your accomplishments and your success, right? Which usually people don't come out right out and say. But yeah, like that can kind of F with your mind a little bit too. And ultimately, the Leo destiny, right? You are the sun, you're the golden child. And I mean that in the best possible way. It's like, you're meant to separate from the family and do your thing. That's why Cancer's, for Leo rising, Cancer's in your 12th house. What is your self undoing? Adhering to all the rules and regulations of the family and never coming into your own, never stepping into your own path, your own destiny, never stepping into the spotlight in order to, decide, who am I? Like, what is it that I want? Family's great. They're your support system, in theory. Not everybody had a great family, right? But family's great, but for Leo, it's like you need to roll the dice and do you. That's a very important journey. It's like the hero's journey for all the signs, but especially for Leo. It's like there's something individual about you, and it's like recognizing I'm not just someone's child. Like I am the child. I have my own voice. I have my own body. I have my own skills and talents and artistic integrity. I don't know why I said artistic integrity. I was going to say creativity, integrity, but anyway, that came out for a reason. Artistic integrity. We're just going to go with that. Anyway, moving on. All right, judgment. There could be a conversation where you have to return back to the past to make amends or settle something with a person who there may have been miscommunication with. There may have been a secret that comes out, but before we jump there, I don't want to make it malicious though, because I frankly don't see that. Sometimes with the High Priestess and Judgment, you're like, oh my God, secrets from the past. What could that possibly be? Not with this trine to the 9th house. I actually think that you may recognize that there's a nice ease and flow in terms of someone you probably want to collaborate with, possibly a fire sign, possibly an air sign, doesn't have to be, possibly a Cancer. Someone you may want to collaborate with who actually has a very similar vision for the future. And with 9th house, it's more like their philosophies in life, their moral code, their ethical code, what they believe in. I mean, even in terms of like spirituality, a higher power, what they view as like their own hero's journey, their path of destiny. I know this is a little clunky, bear with me. But it's like their mission in life, if you will, it actually aligns with yours quite well. And if it's not like just heard, don't cross the streams. You guys seen Ghostbusters? It's if the paths don't cross per se, there's almost something very parallel about them where this person's going to be on the journey with you, but they might not be with you. Does that make sense? This could also be someone you meet. There's a couple messages coming through. I don't know where to go with this. Slow down, cards. Slow down, spirit. This could also be someone you meet in some sort of like religious group or community group that really embraces spirituality, where it's not necessarily that you're looking to be a business collaborator with them or you're looking for them as a romantic partner, but there's something where your timelines are parallel, your journeys are parallel. So along the way, there may be a nice little like checking in with each other and again, exchanging of ideas and information that continue to inspire you as you take that road. And I'm almost wanting to say the road less traveled, but know that you're not alone. You're not doing it alone. You're not... And I don't mean this in a negative way, but it's like you're not necessarily the trailblazer here. It's not that you're the first to do it ever. It's just the people in your immediate circle. It's very new. It's uncharted territory to them. So it seems like a great risk. But again, once you align to like, this is my mission and this is what I want to do. And like, I feel it in my heart. My heart is sounding loud and true and proud. And I can tell that this is my destiny and this is where I want to go. When you make that decision and stick to it and hold firm to that idea, knowing that, flexibility, things are going to come and go and, your overall game plan might change. But when you align to that, the universe is going to like co-collaborate with you to bring you kind of these guardian angels along the way, or bring you these mentors or people you can learn from who are going to inspire you and encourage you to keep following your dreams. I love this, Leo, I have to say. Yeah, ninth house. Let's talk about that. So that's the house of Sagittarius. So there could be a big opportunity to travel, distant lands, foreigners, learning new languages, work on communicating among larger groups of people, self-promotion. This says foreign travel, adventure, higher education. Yeah, that could be a main focus as well. Customs, faith, belief, pilgrimages, spiritual quests, aspirations, journalism, religion, gurus, and risk-taking. So again, a fellow fire sign, the ninth house. Again, it has a lot to do with the self, Aries is like the purest version of that in terms of like they're the spark of life. They're literally the first zodiac sign, right? Then we go to Leo. Again, that's that separation from family into the self, being your own person. And then the Sagittarius, like ninth house stuff, that has more to do with like, who am I among other people? Who am I among groups and societies? Kind of similar to the Aquarian energy a little bit. Like I'm hearing myself describe it, and what I'm describing also feels Aquarian. So that's what I mean about the seventh house partnerships. You may have someone coming in who's like a really good, there's a lot of compatibility there, and who knows what else. I mean, we haven't gotten to all this stuff yet, so I'm not saying there couldn't be a romantic relationship in the works. If anything, I think a lot of you are manifesting it, but it may not have shown up yet, but I think it will. And then the trine in astrology, that's an aspect where planets are, I believe it's 90 degrees apart, I think that's right, where there's a flow usually in terms of the elements, right? So it says harmonizes, aids, enriches, benefits, energizes, enjoys, ease, lubricates, gifts, rhymes, supports, and indulges. I don't know why I just did that. It's because this is so phallic. It's because you got the Ace of Swords and lubricates. Stop it. All right, Leo, you're killing me. Moving on. Let's talk more about this judgment thing, because there's something coming in from the past that was not open or available to you. It could be that someone wasn't ready to communicate with you. But you have judgment and the Six of Cups and the High Priestess, and with the Two of Swords, the High Priestess sort of trumps it, right? So I think someone had to go within to find, and maybe this is you, somebody had to go within to figure out what they wanted before they announced it to the group or made some sort of executive decision to move forward with it or to address you, to confront you. Again, I don't know if this is you or if this is someone in your surroundings. I almost feel like it's someone in your surroundings, though. I do think someone, I'm hearing like tortured soul, tortured artist. Someone may have felt like they missed out on a collaboration with you. Maybe they applied to work at your business, or I don't know. It could have been someone connected with you on a dating app and they ghosted you or shied away. I don't know if that's the case, because I get good vibes around that. And typically I would be like, if someone ghosted you, you kind of know what you need to know about them. But you know what? That's like a more judgmental attitude. And I feel like we're being asked to be more open-minded here, including myself, right, as the reader. And people's lives are complicated. We don't always know the intricacies of what's going on behind the scenes, especially when they're not sharing with us. So yeah, there might be a reason to revisit this. I absolutely see cards of networking, but I also see cards of back and forth and conversation and trying to get on the same page. And the thing is, this time around, like if this truly is something from the past, I mean, I think it is with these cards, there's a flow to it this time. Something that was just stuck, or I'm hearing misfire, something that didn't work, that didn't stick. It comes back fresh again, and as long as you can view it as sort of pure and innocent and untainted. It's like giving it the benefit of the doubt or a clean slate. You know, you have Wheel of Fortune and then you have the Six of Swords. You know, things start to go places. We have to remember, like, the Six of Swords follows the Five of Swords, which is that challenging energy. It's Venus and Aquarius, right? So it's like we want to love and we want to relate and we want to harmonize. But with that Aquarian energy, there's a Saturnian energy that can also reject the idea of the other. It's kind of a mixed bag, right? So with that, you may have been trying to get a partnership off the ground and it just wasn't sticking. It just wasn't coming together. For some of you with Judgment, if you guys are able to like reopen the chapter, right, and revisit it with more clarity in terms of what you're wanting and expecting. And I'm not necessarily saying expectations are good, but knowing, how do I want to phrase this? Help me out here, Spirit. I guess having a guide for what you're looking for, but being open-minded, if you can both go into this partnership, be it romantic or not, with that mentality, Six of Swords, it's like you guys are going to start gaining some traction and beyond. I think you're going to recognize that you're on the same page. It's like your long-term goals and beliefs, really your beliefs, what you want out of this relationship, how you deserve to be treated, what you want in a partnership. Like, it's trining, baby. Like, it's good. I'm literally being told to look at these cards, like, look at the trine. So the manifestation, the Ace of Wands, whatever you're passionate about, it's going to be rekindled and revived through this partnership. I think this person would be a really good support system and cheerleader for you, but it goes both ways, vice versa. Something from the past absolutely supports you as well. Some of you may end up networking more closely with a sibling or a cousin, especially in business, entrepreneurial type stuff. You may also be helping them with their business or helping with their children, helping them find daycare. I don't know, an element of child energy is in this. I also think too, in romantic partnerships, meeting someone who quite literally meets you where you are at, and sort of has that gentle nature where if you, with authentic self-expression, right, Leo energy, this person recognizes that everything you say and do is a reflection of who you are and where you came from. You know, Cancerian energy, the house, the home, the family, the roots. And with that, there's some grace, there's some lenience, knowing that doesn't mean that's the full-on person you're becoming. It's where you come from, so it's a very important core part of you. But I think with ninth house Sagittarius energy coming through here, it's kind of like this person knows that you have the ability, yes, open-minded, but there's another word I'm grasping at. You are impressionable when you are put into new situations and new environments. It's like you cherry pick the good stuff. And again, I use that term in a positive way, not like I'm only taking the good stuff or I'm being greedy. It's like you are susceptible to the positive influence of experiences that are outside of your safety zone. And I think this person admires and appreciates that about you. And I think that's something they like. That's something they want to lean into, is being with people who aren't afraid to explore the unknown, to venture into unknown territories. And I don't just mean foreign lands, like, yeah, cool, go to Africa, whatever. But do you know what I mean? It also has to do with like a soul journey, like a spiritual journey, right? Ninth house is all about religion and spirituality. It's like someone wants to go down a path with you because they know that they are safe and not being pigeonholed to conform or meet certain expectations because of their past. I'm not delivering this message super well, but I'm hoping you're vibing with what I'm saying. Like, the words aren't eloquent, but the meaning is there. I hope this is making sense for some people. They like your open-mindedness. They like your adventurous nature. They like your exploratory spirit, and they like that you're not like a stubborn a-hole. You're just like, well, this is the way things are, so whatever. Like, you're not that fixed sign, Leo. You're very much like, let's be spontaneous, you know. This is very much like the world is my oyster. Let's play. Let's have fun. We have no reason not to assume that we're going to enjoy this journey together. So, like, let's roll the dice and do it. And you know what? If it doesn't work, we change our plans a little bit. We revive our energy. You know, we take a breather. We take a breath. We take time and space for our body to recharge our energy. But then we're awakened again and we're ready to, you know, set off and do the next thing. The Wheel of Fortune with the Six of Swords, there may be love. that you meet through this on this spiritual path, on this spiritual journey. Aquarian energy possibly, again, Wheel of Fortune, Sagittarius vibes. You have a little bit of like watery Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces stuff here. You know, the sign doesn't really matter, but why do I want to roll the dice for you? For Leo, the trine says there's an ease and a flow and harmony to relationships, people that are going to support you. So Virgo, Aries, Sagittarius, anything else? Capricorn. Maybe some of those are timestamps too. All right, practical self-care for Leo. I love this. They think you got nice boobies. Or if that's not you, it's the person you're after. Am I right? Am I right? Again, there's like this, you have your pick of the litter. Maybe romantically, there's something about your vibe. It's so high right now, like nothing can tear you down. So stay in that energy. Healthy boundaries with people who are energy vampires, right? Sometimes we can't exclude them entirely, especially if it's family, if we have commitments or responsibilities to them. You know, maybe you don't love everybody you work with. Healthy boundaries, don't let anybody else influence your vibe or bring you down. It's like you hold that torch, that passion, that flame, and you got to keep it going, right? That is, again, that's like such a great symbolism for Leo. It's like you are the, all I can hear is controlled fire, fixed fire energy. You got to maintain the light. You got to maintain the fire because you warm everybody else up, right? You're the damn sun. You do what you do and then the planets follow suit. But like, we need the Leos. We need the sun. We need the fire. Keep your fire burning bright. Receive. You're being asked to open up to receiving universal gifts. This could come in the form of love, money, compliments, healing energy, and universal wisdom. Know that you are worthy of these gifts and open up to them. I'm going to say it, Leo. I'm glad I redid your reading because, I mean, the other message was great, but this is even better. It just makes more sense to me, too. Some messages are a little bit more clunky and all over the place. This, like, I get what this is saying. I hope I did it justice in terms of relaying what the cards mean, so... Let's see. Have faith. Remove the doubt and questions. You are ready to step into blessings and claim what is already yours. Let me know in the comments below. What's your Leo placements? Are you a Leo sun? Are you a Leo moon? Are you a Leo rising? Are you a Leo Venus? I would love to know. Does this resonate for you? What does this mean for you? Get that comment section going, right? And plan your career. Create milestones and have a strategy to set yourself up for success. Absolutely. I think that Ace of Wands magician is like, something's brewing. Something's brewing in the background. But like, it's in a good way. It's like it's bubbling up over the surface and like you're just going to know it's time to move forward with it because it's ready. It's hot. It's simmery. It's delicious. For Leo. Abundance. And it landed right on the 9th house. There could be I'll say a long distance trip, you know, whether that's within your country or overseas or whatever, that brings a lot of abundance and fulfillment. But again, it's also like a soul journey. It just feels so good. It brings out your childlike energy, the sunflower. And then the warrior. Yeah. I like that song by, is it Patti Smith or Patti Smythe? The Warrior. That's a very like, oh, I love it. The warrior. I'd sing it, but no, that wouldn't go well for any of us. So warrior of abundance. I kind of like that combination, a warrior of abundance. It's like not giving in, not giving up, like no longer living in like the lack mentality or poverty mindset. It's like, no. Like I'm golden. I got the golden touch. So everything around me is going to match my vibration, my energy, my frequency. And then prayer objects. Yeah, some of you, it's like, I don't know if I want to use the word pilgrimage, but I'm like little totems you collect in your travels through life. They serve as a catalyst to keep you inspired and remind you of your goals. There's a very important keychain. I don't know if you currently have it, but some of you, it's something that you're gonna collect. It could be an old totem or momentum from a family member too that you find, and it serves as like it's like a reminder of like, yeah, your gifts and talents can't be wasted. You got to chase your dreams. Your energy is valuable. Protect it well. The protectress, strength, boundaries, and the amulet. Again, like religious totems or spiritual totems or however you want to say it. And strength, that's your card, right? It's about courage. It's about tenacity. Give to the mind and it gives back. Inspiration, mood, and cycle. Yeah, and allow thoughts and emotions to come and go. It doesn't mean that they're a true reflection or depiction of reality. You know, we have highs and lows as people. So ride the waves knowing that, you know, tomorrow's a new day. Abundance mindset. everything you need is immediately available to you. You just have to move forward to it, you know? All right, for Leo, we're going to do an Earth Magic Oracle card, being Capricorn season and all. But yeah, I mean, Capricorn season for Leo rising anyway, that's your 6th house of work, right? So work, daily schedule, routine, your health, your wellness, your body. There's a lot of like bigger things coming into the picture in terms of how they're going to impact your future in a good way. All right, the full moon completion. Yeah, do we have a full moon in Leo coming up? I feel like we do. I don't remember the date, but I feel like it's at the end of January. All right, let's read about this baby. Look up the full moon though. See what it says to you. Okay. You can now take pleasure in knowing that whatever you have been working towards has now reached its culmination. It may have been a relatively brief cycle or a much more extensive one, yet regardless of the length of time, you have arrived at the stage of completion. Let yourself feel safe in the contentment and satisfaction of this accomplishment. It's like when you take a deep breath and reach the point where your lungs are pleasantly full and your body is ready to release that breath. It is important not only to enjoy this completion, but also let go and allow yourself to relax afterwards, just like exhaling slowly and consciously. People are much too eager to rush to the next item on the agenda without giving proper time and space to appreciate and honor the natural cycle of release that follows a point of resolution. Yeah, I think that's important. Give yourself that time to relax and rest before tackling Spirit's next assignment. Yeah, be good to your body. Because, you can't pour from an empty cup, but your body is your temple. If you're looking to manifest, right, you got to be at a good place to do it, or else, yeah, it's gonna be a little wonky. I love that, Leo. Thanks for joining me today. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, and I will see you very soon for more tarot. What's up, Scorpio gang? Welcome to my tarot channel. Welcome to your tarot reading. We're doing it a little bit differently this time. We're pulling random cards from random decks that have been shuffled off camera. Please come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, a desire to learn something and better yourself. If the messages that come through don't resonate for you, that's totally fine. Feel free to push them aside. You may want to revisit them at a later time or date. Sometimes tarot messages make more sense in the future. So again, just be open to that. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. Let's set the intention to get you some clear, helpful, insightful messages. And we'll pull you an oracle card as well. Let's see. Scorpio had a meltdown today. I had recorded your reading and Leo and someone else's, and they're gone. They're completely missing from my computer. I've searched every file. I always save to the same folder. It's like, it just threw me for a loop. I was just so frustrated. I broke down, but we had a nice square to Pluto today, so it wreaked havoc on my emotions. But I'm here. We're doing it. We're doing it again. I'm just going to assume the message wasn't what it needed to be for the majority of my Scorpio followers. So anyway, here we go. Here we go. I wouldn't be a Scorpio moon if I didn't have an emotional breakdown every now and then, right? Starting things off with the Hangman. All right, things are delayed. Things are in wait. Things have been put on pause, usually not by your own doing or by your own accord. It feels like the universe is maybe stopping you from moving forward or pressing forward with something that you're curious about, you're intrigued about, but maybe the timing just isn't right. His legs make like the upside down four. Fours are about grounding and finding your stability and really establishing yourself before you kind of venture off into the next thing, which is the Death card, right? You go from card 12, the Hangman, into card 13 in the Fool's Journey in Tarot, right? So you are going to be coming into your energy, but I'm getting this metaphor of like you're still like half asleep. You're still waking up. So metaphorically, it's like you're still waking up to something. You're still sort of like something is still dawning on you, but you haven't necessarily had the epiphany yet or have the game plan, the action in terms of how you're going to move on it. Especially with the Page of Swords, it's like you're still gathering the facts and the figures. You're still in like the data collection mode. Very Scorpio. I could see that. It's like we're still trying to find out everything we can before we make some sort of action or decision forward, which I actually do like the Knight of Wands here. I mean, to me, this progresses very well. I know the delays can be very frustrating, but I would embrace sort of the hang up or the in-between. It's actually giving you some time to rest and get comfortable. It could quite literally be, you're on bed rest or your body is needing to like take a break from something. Maybe you had a minor injury and, whatever. But for others of you, I mean, the Hangman also, he's inverted because he needs to see something from a different perspective, right? Because it's not necessarily making sense in terms of like visibility. We're not seeing things with clarity. The Hangman is very much associated with Pisces. It's the hopeless romantic. It's the dreamer. It's the compassionate one. It's the, can't we all just love each other and get along energy. That's the ideal version of Pisces, right? But then the lower vibe of that can kind of sink into depression and the fog and lacking motivation, lacking direction, lacking clarity. Again, like trying to get hung up on the details and the precision. Neptune Pisces energy doesn't do that. So it's like immerse yourself in the mystery of it and make that a game. Make that some sort of search or some quest for information, but it's almost more like spiritual knowledge. It's not like something that you're going to be able to do by the book. There's a little bit of an unexpected twist or turn to this story. I have no idea what this is talking about. Do you? I certainly hope you do, but I can tell you what the tarot cards are telling me. You are going to have a game plan formulated, but it's coming through as the page. So it's like, I mean this in like a non-diminishing way, but like you're a little wet behind the ears. You don't know everything there is to know about this. And it's not to say you can't try and, pry and do the research, very Scorpio energy, but a little bit of this is just kind of embracing that things are going to unfold and develop in the way that they're supposed to. And you're going to know when it's time to move forward with something and take official action. If you're not feeling it right now, or if you physically can't, like you may be barricaded or blocked from moving on something, then, literally trust. Trust that the universe is sending you signs and signals and messages. And when the time is right, the Knight of Wands, it's going to be like, the firing of a gun, and it'll be off to the races. The Knight of Wands is very fast, very swift, very quick. Sagittarius energy, right? So it's very playful. It's very creative. It's very flirty. It's very sexual. It's very heated. It's very passionate. It's curious. It wants to learn. It wants to discover all the things. It wants to go all the places. But right now, we're not quite there yet. So temper that, knowing that there is going to be more movement coming to you. But we're in Capricorn season right now. Everybody is experiencing Capricorn in some part of their birth chart, right? And that's a Saturn ruled sign. Saturn is a planet of constriction. It's a card of work. It's a card of responsibility. It's about maturity. It's about sacrifice in order to achieve the long-term goals and dreams and wishes that we have. Sometimes you have to say no to the play dates and no to the fun in order to roll up your sleeves and get the work done, knowing that, it'll be worth it in the end. But with Capricorn energy, yeah, there's constraints, there's obstacles, there's a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves to perform, and that can sometimes sink into a little bit of depression or self-criticism. So just things to be aware of, right? Anyway, then we go to the Six of Pentacles, and everybody wants what you have to give, Scorpio. I don't know what that means. I don't know if you're in demand at your job, if you're pulling in new clients, if you're just getting lots of work opportunities, if you're single and looking, the apps seem to be lighting up for you. It's like, I'm literally hearing everybody wants a piece of you. And with Knight of Wands, maybe that's sexual, right? But it doesn't have to be. It's just the idea of like, you are a wanted asset. You have lots of skills and talents and lots of things that you contribute to the world. It could be that your family is very needy right now, and so you're in demand in that capacity, right? There's a couple storylines coming through, but yeah, if you are, it's almost like if you're in solitude right now, if you're taking a break, if you're doing some mental health days, if you're relaxing on, whatever, if you're laid up in bed, whatever it is, enjoy the peace and quiet now, because I'm literally getting like, it's off to the races. There's gonna be a point in time where it's gonna be go, 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 and it's gonna be, make sure you don't burn the candle at both ends. Like it could potentially be exhausting. So maybe the universe is trying to get you to balance and kind of recharge your body a little bit. That's very, very important. So then you have this conjunction with I believe it's the King of Wands in the Triple Goddess Tarot. All the females are all the cards are female, right? Kings and queens, etc. Anyway, you have conjunction. So empowerment. Conjunction in astrology is when planets come into alignment, right? There's a merging. There's an impact. There's a force. There's a combination of things coming together and collaborating. And depending on what those planets are, there can be some ease to it, or there can be some tension, but it's more or less the blending of two. So I see that in terms of business partnerships, collaborations, again, romantic prospects, possibly the fire sign, an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, someone who has a very witty mind, someone who's very funny, someone who is very chatty and witty and charismatic. They're a tremendous writer. They use good vocabulary. They may even, I don't know why I'm getting this, they may use words that you haven't even heard of. They may speak a foreign language. There's something very specific about the word and the writing and the dictation, the enunciation, the accent. Something about that is important. Again, possibly someone who's a fire sign. So conjunction, this card says, combines with, enhances, strengthens, joins forces, activates, intensifies, authorizes, allies with, concentrates, saturates, overrides, and overwhelms. Yeah, so I mean, it can go both ways, but to be honest, the cards surrounding this are so positive. I think this is going to be a powerful connection. I think this person is going to have a powerful impact on you, and vice versa. I mean, you're no slouch. Whether you're male or female, Scorpio, you're coming through as like everybody wants what you've got. So if you're an entrepreneur or you're looking to sell a product or go on Etsy or be a YouTuber, whatever it is, people are a coming. So monetize that shit, right? That's sort of what I get from that. And obviously that won't make sense in context for all of you, but there is something very desirable about you in the coming months, so make use of that. Mars just went into Capricorn, so let's see, where would that be? I have to actually think about this, don't I? For my Scorpio risings, granted, not all of you are going to be Scorpio risings, but let's see. For most of my Scorpio risings, you would probably be a third house Capricorn. Does that sound right? Let's see. So Scorpio to Sag to Cap. Yeah. So Scorpio risings, there's a very good probability that Capricorn rules your third house. With Mars entering your third house, there may be a lot more energy put on writing, communication, speech, dictation, letters, education, neighbors, siblings. And Mars can bring conflict. It can bring agitation. It can bring tempers, heat, warring. But it can also bring passion, it can bring energy, it can bring enthusiasm, it will bring speed. So if you guys are taking a course and you haven't been feeling motivated, you may start to feel like, okay, I'm actually gaining ground because it's like someone lit a fire under me to go. Yeah, especially, we just got out of the Mercury retrograde, so it's possible communication was weird, misinterpretations, mixed messages going back and forth, especially in terms of applications for loans, for schools, for jobs. It may have felt like you were left, something about hanging out to dry, left to wait. I don't know. But again, your perception of that doesn't have the utmost clarity. So don't start sinking into the depression of like shoulda, coulda, wouldas, or what could have been. The Knight of Wands, I think, is going to go after it. The Knight of Wands typically gets lucky breaks, right? Sagittarius energy, it's ruled by Jupiter, and Jupiter is all about growth and expansion, and really, it's a lucky sign. The reason being is Sagittarius is a risk taker, right? You win some, you lose some, but they take so many risks that it's like you're bound to catch a few winners in your net. And I think with Sagittarius energy, typically, not all the time, there's just kind of this, things will work out the way they're supposed to, and they do because of that, because they have that mindset that I'm not going to get stuck on all the things that didn't work out. I'm just going to keep moving and know that I'm going to find my next step, my next path as it comes. Not getting too hung up on things or fixed outcomes, which I know can be very hard for fixed signs like you, Scorpio. It's like we want guarantees, we want certainty, we want to know that if we do this, this will happen. And again, not so much what I'm seeing here, but that doesn't mean it's not going to be great. I'm getting something here about a pen pal or sending emails. I don't know if this is a romantic interest. Maybe it's someone you met online and it's through a dating app. Maybe it's someone who lives in another country. There's a lot of messages going back and forth, potentially overseas, but it doesn't have to be. I don't know why. With this energy, I'm getting kind of long distance. Some of you may have car troubles too. Something about your car overheating or something leaking. I don't think it's a huge deal, but it may require some extra time and love and attention. And that's where that Mars energy in the third house, because the third house does have to do with short distance travel. There may be some agitation in terms of transportation in the coming in the coming month or so. It's funny, I typically haven't been saying there's a timestamp to these readings, and yet I'm referencing all the astrology right now, so maybe it is. I don't know. Hopefully there's something in this video that is helpful to you that you can take away. But then let's move down to the Seven of Pentacles, the Seven of Coins. It's about assessment. The effort we put in, will we see the results of it? To me, this says you're in alignment. Despite this delay, despite the hangups, despite the uncertainty, you go from the 6 to the 7. So that to me says you're making progress. Something picks up, something speeds up. I don't know why I'm getting the metaphor of your thirst is being quenched, something that maybe you were opposed to or had opposition to or didn't see potential in. There's some sort of powerful connection here where maybe it comes together and it goes down smooth this time. Maybe you had to revisit it because you didn't have the the zhuzh, the verve, the enthusiasm, the inspiration. That's a good word. You didn't have the inspiration for it, and I'm not saying this has to be someone or something from the past, but it's something that maybe you considered doing before and you're like, I'm not going to apply to that job. I'm going to stay where I'm at just because, it's safe, it's secure, it's consistent, blah, 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 blah. But yeah, something may come back around where you decide to branch out a little bit. Again, take some sort of calculated risk, right? Up to you. But yeah, there's a strong collaboration, a strong partnership. It could be a mentor, a teacher, something coming in. And it does kind of have you take stock of your life, what you've accomplished thus far and what you hope to accomplish in the future. Very interesting. You have the King of Wands and the Queen of Wands. So some sort of, again, power couple. Fire energy. You have a lot of fire energy. In fact, you kind of have the whole family, except for the page, right? You have the King, the Queen, and the Knight of Wands. So again, like, what lights your fire? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What motivates you? What empowers you? What inspires you? Leo energy, the king, it's fixed energy like you, Scorpio, but the ultimate goal of the Leo is to break away from the family, right? And invest in themselves, to honor and hone in on their inner light, their destiny, their own hero's journey, and become the truest, most authentic version of themselves, to separate themselves from the pack, right? That's like Leo energy. So very creative, very warm. Leo energy is all about the inner child, the yearnings, the desires, the fun, the creativity, the inspiration that exists within all of us. Some of you maybe has to do with kind of reassessing your needs and wants and desires based on maybe what your inner child is trying to tell you. For some of you, you may be connecting more with children in the coming months, your own children, nieces, nephews, maybe some of you are going to be teaching. There could be some important storyline with a child going on. And then Queen of Wands, she's the work hard, play hard queen. That's Aries energy. So super independent, super self-sufficient, but again, super warm, right? It's fire energy, but it's like, I don't need anyone, but I like being with people. It's courageous, it's bold, it's brave, it's risk-taking. We already talked about Sagittarius, so loaded with fire energy here. And I mean, you are a Mars-ruled sign, Scorpio, similar to Aries. So there is sort of that ability to penetrate, to go deep, right? That Scorpio tail, that scorpion sting, right? That's very like martial energy. It's intense, it's bold, it's stinging, it's sharp. But it's also like the sharp wit, right? It doesn't have to be evil and malicious. It's like when you set your sights on something, like you attack it, right? You really go for it. And so maybe it's time to pounce. I feel like that's a good metaphor, right? Like the lion, we have the deer, kind of some naturey metaphors here. If you're questioning if the timing isn't right and your intuition is just like, I don't know about this, I think you should honor that. You're never going to miss out on what is truly meant for you. So you have to go at a pace and a speed where you're not going to burn out, but also mixing that with strike while the iron's hot. If something lands in your lap, don't question it. If it feels like it's good and it's compatible and there's potential in it, I think you owe it to yourself to see, to be curious and explore and discover what there may be here for you. I see a very powerful collaboration. I know I've said that like 3 times, but I want to reiterate. Conjunction, the Six of Pentacles, and all this like King, Queen, Wand energy. And again, don't get hung up on the gender. It can be literally anyone. But the perception here changes. With the Hanged Man, again, Neptune energy, it can be very deceitful. It can be all about illusions and glossing over and the glamour and the hopeless romantic and the idealization. That's a good word for it. Not really seeing things grounded in reality and how they truly are. I'm happy to see that we start to introduce the grounded reality in the Pentacle cards, right? That's your Earth energy, your Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn stuff, which, can oppose Scorpio. That can sometimes be a challenge is rooting ourselves, grounding ourselves and getting back into like the 3D, not just our headspace, not just our emotions, right? There's progress made, and I think we're starting to see things more with a greater sense of reality, and like the mask falls. We're starting to see things, again, more clarity, with a greater vision. I think that's a good word for this fire sign energy too. So we're grounded, but we're also feeling like the drive and the motivation to go after it. And so then you have the Three of Swords. Interesting. I sort of want to circle back to this. And then you have the Three of Wands. Completely different energies, but both are threes. Threes are about, again, progress, building, but we haven't quite established stability yet. This could be the indication or the peeking into a relationship without necessarily putting a title on it or knowing exactly what it is. It might be feeling each other out. It might be having business meetings or Skype phone calls or networking or reaching out to prospects, clients, whatever it is. And maybe, again, having to do a little bit of investigatory research about, their background information. And I don't know, there could be a little bit of, I need to get a better vibe about this person or a better feel for this person before I want to move forward. I'll say the temptation is there, but it's almost like this, I don't know why I'm hearing this, but it's very Scorpio. It's like, I don't want to get screwed over again. I feel like some of you feel like you made a mistake in the past, putting your faith or trust in a person, whether, again, romantic or not, it doesn't matter. But it's like, I don't want to be slighted. I don't want to open myself up to this or put myself on the line and feel like I gave part of myself away. It's like, you don't want to be taken advantage of. I think there's a lot of skepticism. And maybe that's what this has to do with too. It's like, it sounds good on paper, but in reality, you might be questioning it. And again, I'm not sure you're going to get definitive answers. I'm not sure you're going to get definitive guarantees here just because of the nature of what the cards are showing me. I will say this though. If there were certain cards of people and situations I would avoid, I don't really see a lot of those coming out here. I'm talking your 5 of Swords, right? Your 7 of Swords, your 5 of Cups, your 4 of Cups, like all these like, oh, I don't know how I feel and I kind of want to, but I can't. It's like, no, you have like court cards showing up. You have people showing up in good energy. So, I mean, you need to hold yourself accountable and mirror that, right? Don't get tangled up in something if you're not coming at it, from the same perspective, if you're not on the same page, if you're, you can't pour from an empty cup, right? Like you got to be good and know what you want and desire. I think there needs to be clarity about you first before you start mixing up and entangling with different energies, because then it's going to get more clouded and confused. I see you being very susceptible to other people's influence right now, and yet you also kind of have that guard up to be like, I don't want to be tricked and I don't want to be fooled. Kind of an interesting contradictory message here. I like this. I think this is a good card for dating. I think some of you may still have some baggage from an ex or someone who broke your heart. You may have felt like somebody cheated on you or was deceitful with you or I don't know, like their actions didn't align with their words. I think true to most Scorpios, honesty, loyalty, those are very important qualities to a Scorpio. So yeah, I mean, rightfully so. I think you do need to, I don't know if pry is the right word, but yeah, you need to see what's up with the people you're getting involved with, so that you don't make any silly mistakes or silly errors. But I mean, I don't think you will, Scorpio. Like I said, you have pretty strong cards, but are you ready to accept new partnership in your life? I guess that would be my question to you. I think you have a perception that you're very, I don't know if I want to say that. I was going to say, you have a perception that you're very open, but I'm not sure other people view you as that. Again, something about the miscommunication with the page, the communication here is it has potential to grow though. Someone from your childhood may reach out to you. I don't know what that is, if it's a romantic thing or there's a lot of messages coming through. It's kind of all over the place. Some of you are doing like the therapy stuff where you're like writing a letter to your inner child. You're trying to vibe with your inner child and listen to what's going on emotionally, internally. That's for some of you. Others of you, I almost see this Page of Swords as growing up into the King of Wands. And I'm not exactly sure what the metaphor is, but with the owl, it's like wise, wisdom, your wounds are your wisdom, being patient, lying in wait. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but knowing when it's time to strike. And there's something here about careful not to self-sabotage. There's some metaphor with the scorpion, right, which is your scorpion, where it will literally like self-destruct if it feels like it's threatened and in danger and it can't get itself out. Like it will take its own stinger and kill itself, which I think is true. I've read that at least in astrology books. So I mean, I'm fairly certain that the facts would back that up. But yeah, there is like, you have to be very cautious about self-sabotage, thinking that someone's coming at you. I think it has to do with this 3 of Swords, like replaying past narratives and being on the defense because you're assuming that other people are going to cheat you out of what was owed to you in a prior commitment or a prior contract. Or yeah, it's like you're very guarded of your heart and your space and your safety. And yes, rightfully so. But at what point is it self-sabotage where you're blocking yourself off from really good connections? I'm just putting that out there. Something about red shoes. I think that's the name of like a movie or something, isn't it? But that's a reference to something else though. Red shoes. The devil. Yeah. There could be some obsessive energy, obsessive compulsive type stuff too. Some of you may struggle with that. Again, taking time for your health, focusing on you, being good to your body is your temple. There may be a Capricorn involved here. Again, Capricorn season is going to be highly featured. There could be a very strong, sexual, erotic connection too, with all this, kind of fiery energy. And, I chose the, what is this? Sexual magic, the tarot of sexual magic. Every now and then you gotta pull that deck out, right? So I did for this reading. And then the Emperor, yeah, so more Mars energy, more sex energy, more fire energy. Leave it to a Scorpio reading, right? All is well. And the High Priestess, you already know the answers you seek. That's what the High Priestess says. Super intuitive energy, right? Super psychic, a very scorpionic card. It is technically a sign of Cancer, right? It's associated with kind of like the pure, Virgin Mary, maternal type energy, very caring, very nurturing, right? Ruled by the moon, ebbs and flows, information comes and goes, but she sits between those two pillars, perfectly balanced. For some of you, it's like the balancing of the heart and head, mind over matter. I don't know. There's something about needing to take both into consideration here. Capricorn and Cancer is the mother-father axis too. It's like our personal lives versus our public image, who we are in private at home versus who we are out in the world. Typically those are sort of traits associated with, the Capricorn Cancer stuff. The moon versus Saturn. Something about being very self-critical. You need to take it easy on yourself. You need to release guilt or shame or judgment. You need to offer yourself compassion, especially this month. Plan your career, create milestones, and have a strategy to set yourself up for success. What else for Scorpio? I just keep hearing they want what you got. Whatever you got, be proud, because you're going to be in demand by several people. I mean, do you see how many people are showing up in your reading? They can't all be you, right? See the beauty. Learn to find the beauty in everything. See the world for all of its aspects. Tongue-tied here. One more for Scorpio. Whoa. All right, well, two more. Speak up. What are you not saying that is eating you up inside? You can't keep this in forever. It's time to let it out so you can move on and be happy. Yeah, speak your truth. Maybe that's what this Page of Swords is to this King of Wands who's like, she's holding a pen or whatever you call it, a stilo or whatever it is. It's like there's a juvenile version of it, the page, right? It's more innocent, it's naive, it's untainted, it's pure, it's curious, it's wanting to express something, but maybe it's a little bit confused what it's saying. In time, there's some sort of powerful connection that comes in that impacts you in some way where you're able to speak your truth. It influences you, it inspires you, it like jiggers something out of you where you have, I don't know if it's an epiphany, but there's like a nice little give and take here or impact where it like sets you down a new path or opens something up. That's really a good word for it. It liberates you from something that, the devil was maybe holding you back or shackling you in. And then there's a peace. The High Priestess can be the secret keeper, the silent one. So I think that's important. It's like, what are you not saying? And who are you not saying it to? I don't know. Speak up. Be a good advocate for yourself. You're never going to say the wrong thing to the right person. Trust, put trust in that. Put trust in the people that you have in your life, that they're there for a reason. And, if they're not, great, you can weed them out faster, right? And then sleep and rest. Let your body have the peace it deserves without feeling guilty. Yeah, that's important. I've read a lot of things online lately that it's like, we come from such a culture where it's like you have to earn rest and you have to earn sleep, when really that's so twisted and backwards. It's like to perform anything, we need to be well rested. It's not something you earn. It's an absolute bare minimum. It's like a requirement. We need to take better care of our bodies. That's when the devil gets you. That's when you slide into the shadow stuff, which is totally what happened to me this morning. Ugly crying over all my readings that I lost, but whatever. This one seems good. I think you needed to hear it, so hopefully it helps someone out there. Please remember to like the video, guys. Of course you got the skeleton cards, Scorpio. I love it. Let's see. The things that almost broke me were the things that most awoke me. The awakened dead, resilience, nirvana, and self-appreciation. I just fell in love with this card. I absolutely love it. I'm going to put it on my tarot table after I photograph it for you. All right, and last but not least, Earth Magic cards. Since it is Capricorn season, we're doing an earthy deck, like those earthy Capricorns. The original one you got was, let's see, was this one, Mountain and Strength. I feel like I should read it to you, but then, ooh, Love and Compassion at the bottom of the deck. Loving it. Who is this, Scorpio? Tell me everything. You're like, I'll never divulge. Scorpio is the best secret keeper, aren't they? All right, anyway. Scorpio. Whoop. Ancestors, generations. I think Cancer had a similar card. Let's see. I think these are alphabetized. Scorpio. Ooh, this is a long one. You ready? Buckle in, Scorpio. All right, cool. You have within you the blood of your ancestors. You are deeply connected to your lineage, and the most immediate proof of that being the physical resemblance you have to your mother and father, and perhaps even your grandparents. Yet beyond that, although unknown to your usual senses, you are connected to an ancestry that reaches back through the millennia. This is the time to call upon those ancestors, those who are your bloodline, as well as the ancient ones who have walked the land that you now walk on. In many indigenous cultures, it is believed that the essence of your ancestors inhabits many of the physical aspects of the land. In other words, they are the trees, the water, the air, the animals, the stones, their blood being at the very dirt and sand you tread upon. Next time you are outside, allow your senses to open up to those ancestors who abide in the physical world. And any time at all, allow your heart to open to those spirits to whom you are related through your hereditary and those to whom you are connected by virtue of land on the land upon which you live. Blah, 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 blah. Sorry about that. I kind of want to read you the mountain, though. You're just going to have to trust me that came out for you, but maybe somebody needs to hear it. And it just feels so appropriate for Capricorn season. We'll end it with that. You know I'm going to throw you extra cards because I love my Scorpio gang. Struggling with the alphabet today, guys. It's like M, L. Oh, God. I'm a mess. Today. All right, here we go. Wrapping it up. It makes no sense to deny the strength you have at the cost of allowing yourself to be reactive and subject to external influences far beyond what is healthy for you. Imagine yourself as a mountain of strength, solidity grounded in the earth, and your head held high as if you were touching the sky. Do so without straining, just as the mountain itself does not strain. The current situation calls for you to be vigilant, but not to the point of fear or paranoia. Be the rock of strength that you are capable of becoming. The solidness of your resolve will be clearly communicated when you model yourself after the towering immensity of a mountain, impenetrable, inscrutable. Standing steady like a rock is what is called for at this time. All right, Scorpio. Love you dearly. Please do like the video, guys. That really helps me. I'm trying to grow this channel this year. That's like my main goal. So if you could like the video, if you could leave a comment, even emoji, if you could subscribe to my channel, any of that would be most appreciated. And good karma too, right? All right, Scorpio. Love you. See you soon for more tarot. Bye. Hello, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs. Welcome to my tarot channel. Welcome to your tarot reading. We are pulling random cards from random decks that have been shuffled off camera, doing a different system this time. So come into this reading with an open heart and an open mind, like always. Let's see. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. This is optional advice, guidance, and energy check-in. Please do trust that your own intuition knows what messages are meant for you and which ones you can leave and separate or possibly return to at a different date. We're setting the intention, though, to get you some clear, helpful, insightful messages. I'm losing my spiel because I'm so focused on your cards, but that's okay because that's ultimately the point of what we're doing here. So check out the description box below. Book a personal reading if you're interested. Like the video. That helps me gain traction on YouTube. I would appreciate it. I'm going to pull you an oracle card, and we're going to hop into your reading. You got some good cards here. I'm interested. I'm curious. My Aquarians. Gentleness. Somebody else got that one. The blushing bride. That's what I always see. There's like a quiet peace there. Someone who, it's like they know their value and their worth. They don't feel like they have to chase people. They don't have to scream it from a mountaintop. But there's almost like a warming sensation. For those of you, especially who have been out of the dating game for a while, you may feel like you're starting to connect with someone on a very deep level where you're actually could kind of see building a future with them, maybe in ways where you didn't ever feel that way or experience with other people that you have been with in the past. It sort of feels very different, but there's like a calming, like an exhale. There's like a very soothing thing. Then you have freedom here, and you also have celebration. Interesting. So some of you are straight up going to a party, or you may be in a wedding, you may be invited to a wedding, anniversaries, birthdays, something where there's a lot of celebration, a lot of joy, a lot of love, and it's certainly making you think about your life, and if you are living your best life, if you are living sort of the vision of what you had imagined for yourself. And I don't mean just in terms of context of being in a relationship. Some people are completely happy being single, and hey, more power to you. But being amongst people who are celebrating life, it's not like an energy of, ooh, like everybody else is winning and I'm not, why am I not succeeding? I feel weird. It's the opposite of like, it's like, even if you're not where you want to be, and you know, spoiler alert, nobody's exactly where they want to be, right? You know, we're always growing and changing and developing, right? It's about being grounded in the moment and present and grateful for what you have, which I think you are. That's sort of what I'm getting from this, though. It's like seeing other people win and seeing other people succeed. It's actually making you very happy, because it's opening your mind up to the possibility that maybe a certain life or habit or pattern that you had sort of married yourself to, or resigned yourself to thinking things are always going to be like this, or nothing will ever change, or whatever, you're starting to see like, oh, that's not true. It's like your mind is being changed. Believe it or not, Aquarius, I said it. Your mind is changing a little bit. No, I'm teasing you guys. Always in jest. I love my Aquarian gang. The Queen of Swords is welcoming a conversation. She speaks her truth. I always say she velvet glove with an iron fist, right? I mean, she's Venus ruled, so there's a very strong desire for all the air signs to connect and to relate, and they're people, right? Especially the Queen of Swords, it's Venus, so it is about relationships and compatibility, whether it's romantic, platonic, etc. The clouds are parted here because it's like there's clarity, there's vision. I frequently see the Queen of Swords as welcoming in a conversation. What's interesting though is like she's welcoming in energy of someone who's not actually moving towards her, though. And I don't mean to make gender a thing, him, her, whoever, the Queen of Swords. I have a feeling this is probably you, but you might be waiting on someone who's, I don't know, like a little bit lazy or checked out, or I'm almost getting a little bit numb. It's funny, we started the message off of like, oh, seeing other people around you succeeding and winning, that's great, and it's making you feel good. But then we have a separate energy here too, where someone is very self-conscious of where they're at, where their place is at in life, and they're feeling a little bit down on their luck and feeling a little bit isolated. For some of you, this might be your child who's experiencing like bullying issues. Obviously, that's not for everyone. It could also be your romantic partner, your husband, boyfriend. It might be a male energy. It doesn't have to be. But yeah, Four of Swords, it's like they just kind of need to unplug a little bit and take a break. And the Nine of Pentacles is very self-assured here. It's very self-sufficient. For some of you who are with a partner already, like a romantic partner, there's sort of a message here that you are so self-sufficient that sometimes this person feels like you don't need them, which is a complicated message, right? Because ultimately you're not with them because you need them or because you're reliant on them. You're with them because you enjoy them, right? And I think that's a healthy way to approach a connection. But for this person, they may have a touch of like rescuer syndrome, right? They may chase after relationships where they feel they are emotionally needed, so that they feel like they have a place in the relationship and they are, I hope I'm describing this correctly, but it makes their ego feel good knowing that they're needed. And because you are so self-sufficient and self-reliant, they question if you're going to up and leave them because you don't need them. And I don't think it's necessarily true. I think you are probably very self-sufficient, but people need people. Everybody needs people, right? This person, it's like they're down on their luck about work stuff, and then that is sort of starting to encroach, whatever the word is, infringe upon the fact that they're also like, because they're down and out on their luck, they feel like they're bringing you down. They feel like an emotional burden. They feel, and maybe this is your friend, right? Maybe it's not a partner, but yeah, it's like, I think you're trying to not lighten up, but you're trying to bring this person out of their head. I think you're trying to open the conversation and give them a little bit of a pep talk, a little bit of a coaching session, but I'm not sure they're open to hearing it. I'm not exactly sure how this person fits in your life, but it's somebody in your energy. Can't quite tell if it's romantic or not. So then let's go down to this other storyline, because ultimately in the center of your spread, you have Pluto. Major transformation, right? It's at the very nth degree, the 29th degree, the anaretic degree of Capricorn, right? So it's about to transition signs into yours, Aquarius, right? Wherever your Aquarius placements are. So Pluto is an outer planet, right? It's a very long transit. So, I mean, it's going to be in Aquarius for a good long while. So we're not going to feel the impact necessarily on a daily basis, though I will say as it like ingresses into Aquarius, I mean, you're probably already feeling that energy now. So it's going to be slightly more personal to you, but it's a transformational planet, right? It's a planet that it has a lot to do kind of Scorpio energy, going into the dark sides of life, looking at all the muck and the gunk and deciding what we need to eliminate, get rid of, what we need to bring a death to, right, essentially. And then what can we transform into something usable, into something that is going to make us more powerful and strong. And it's a very, Scorpio is a very good sign of like endurance. It's a mystical sign, right? Pluto has a lot to do with psychology, hidden depths, what is secret, what is hidden. I should just read the card, right? It says renewal, inner resources, basic instinct, motivation, personal power, evolution. That's a really good word for it. Composting, cycles, death, rebirth, subversion, suspicion, obsession, intensity, reckoning, taboo, clearing, and extremes. Yeah. Scorpio is the sign of sex too, right? So the idea of transformation, with our bodies, with our babies, regeneration, that sort of thing. So we have the Two of Pentacles. What in your life needs to change and be transformed? For some of you, there's going to be a huge windfall of money, a transformation in your personal finances. Some of you, and this might be your partner or whoever this is, they have bad spending habits or whatever they are, I'm hearing allocating resources. Whatever they're spending their money on, it's such a slippery slope. It's like they're teetering on the brink of losing all their money all the time. They're like in a constant state of dread of like, waiting for the other shoe to drop, but they're not being smart, they're not being savvy, they're not being streetwise, they're not looking for other opportunities that are literally right behind them. I'm hearing all these funny things like, and I don't want to insult your person, especially the cross watchers. That's so not what I'm about. But I'm sort of in a lighter way. I'm seeing like they're kind of being foolish. I'm not hearing that word. I'm hearing some more like funny, intense words. But it's like the universe is like this person kind of needs a little bit of a. Yes, like the tender, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry you're having a rough day. But at a certain point, the Queen of Swords, like she's got a sword, she may have to use it. And by that, I mean, you may have to kind of poke the bear and nudge them and kind of get them out of this. I don't know why with this Four of Swords, it's a little bit woe is me. It's one thing to take a break and unplug and take a mental health day off work, and that is so needed. Like this person absolutely needs to attend to their mental health, but there's a bit of a laziness factor. I think this person is wanting things to come very easily to them without putting in the work. And in Capricorn season, like that shit ain't gonna fly. Like Capricorn season is all about the work, right? It's associated with our 10th house, our business, our career, our profession, how we make our way in the world. And it's all about delayed gratification, right? Saturn is an energy that, I mean, you're a Saturn ruled sign as well, Aquarius, Uranus and Saturn. But it's restrictive. It constricts things. Essentially, we have, delay gratification and joy and fun and pleasure, knowing that we have to roll up and do the work, or, roll up our sleeves rather and do the work. Knowing that, in the long term, we're going to build our legacy. We're going to have to struggle. We're going to be challenged by Saturn stuff, but it's going to make us stronger. Again, that word endurance, right? It's going to bring us down to our knees, but it's going to show us our strength. And I think that's what this person is. Like for some of you may have been giving this person a bit of a free ride. Like you may be with someone who you have a very lovely romantic relationship with, but I'm just getting for a lot of you, like you're the breadwinner, you take care of the house, you take care of the kids, you walk the dog, and I don't mean to be insensitive, right? There may very likely be some more complicated stuff at play here, particularly health issues. I'm just sort of getting that it's like you're sort of holding your breath because it sort of feels like at times, if this is a romantic partner or a sibling, you almost take on the role of like mother or father to them. And so that's a challenging relationship. And I will say with Pluto energy, there's a lot of room for that to change in a way where you guys reinvent who you are in this relationship. I think it's sort of like Phoenix from the ashes. Essentially, what needs to die, what is no longer useful, and then, what can be reinvented and reborn? How can we take this relationship and recycle it in a way where we're healthy and thriving again, and both people are happy and living their best life? It's possible for some of you may want to take a break from this or spend time apart. Others of you, it's not that. It's that there's like a conversation or a nagging thing that keeps getting revisited with your partner, and they're just not getting the signs. And so do trust there is going to be an awakening for them. You can't change this person. You can't fix this person. If you love them, you can only, support them and encourage them. But there is sort of limitations and boundaries in terms of how much. I think there needs to be better equilibrium. The Wheel of Fortune says major change is coming. It goes from the Wheel of Fortune, though, to the Seven of Pentacles to the Nine of Wands. So again, who's doing all the heavy lifting? We all know the answer to that, don't we? I mean, at least from what I'm seeing in the cards. And so for some of you, maybe it's not jealousy, but the idea of seeing okay, this is what it is. Thank you. Seeing other people in relationships out in public, whether you know them or not. Maybe you're just casually observing people, out to dinner or overhearing conversations. I think there's a part of you that longs and wishes for certain aspects of your relationship to mirror whatever it is you're seeing around you. And for me, it's like the universe is sending you signs and messages that that's available to you, but there does need to be some change and transformation. And what would happen if the next time this person slips, you didn't rush to catch them? Again, metaphors, right? But you may have accidentally been enabling this person's behavior, especially like lethargy, just kind of like lackluster, bumbling by in life. They're a great person. They probably have a very big heart. I'm sure they love you dearly. I don't question that, but it's like they're just lost in their own world and they're not making progress as a person. I think some of you wish that you could kind of know the secret word or the secret sauce to motivate this person and get them to go after their dreams or their goals because you believe in them, right? But you may need to withdraw or pull back your energy a little bit and show a little bit of tough love, which I know you're capable of doing, Aquarius, but it might be hard for you because you care so much about this person. And on top of that, they may have battled some depression issues, some addiction issues. Like there's definitely more at play here. They're not just like a jerk, or else you wouldn't be with them. They wouldn't be showing up in your reading because you clearly have invested energy in them. But at what point are you becoming like their housemate or their mother or, something like that? A lot of you are going to write this person a letter, even if you live with them, right? I think you need to figure out what you want to say in a way where doesn't feel like you're attacking them, but you're giving them a little bit of motivation to put some pep in their step. And ultimately, I do see it as things need to change. You may even speak with a very close female friend about this, especially like a grandmother figure, a maternal figure, a mentor, a coach. It could be a friend, but it's like an old soul or like a wise soul. That's how I would put it. I feel like somebody in your energy, Aquarius, shares a story with you about their relationship and how it went through its own major transformation, and it actually gives you hope. Just to be very, very, very clear, for those who are new to my channel, most of you who are returning, thank you, love you, appreciate you. I'm a pretty straight shooter. If I don't see it in the cards, I can't tell you something amazing is going to happen. What I will say about this is I don't see an ending here. And so I think maybe that's going to be relieving for some of you. I see challenges, particularly on you, Aquarius. This is your reading. I see you being challenged to express a truth to your partner that might be very uncomfortable and cause some waves. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't move through that fear and do it anyway, because I actually think it's going to completely change your relationship for the better. And I think in time, this person is going to see just how reliant they have been on you. And it's not to say they don't appreciate you, but maybe I think they're going to become more aware of how maybe they've taken that for granted a little bit. If this doesn't resonate for you on a romantic level, again, maybe this is a family member. Maybe you're always taking in your little brother because he's always losing his job and he can't pay his rent. And at some point, there has to be a little bit more tough love and a little bit more encouragement of, I think maybe you need to find your path on your own because, you don't seem to be finding it here with me or whatever it is. You know what you're going to say. There is a very inspiring story you hear about, again, someone very close to you who went through their own trials and tribulations in a relationship. And they went through, the dark night of the soul. They went through the major change, transformation, and chaos. And like like power couple vibes. And I think you see that as very inspiring, but there's a small sadness to you because I think you want that in your own life. But I mean, you're going to have it. You're going to create it. It's just a matter of time. The Wheel of Fortune says things are progressing and things are changing. Things cannot stay the same forever. And I think maybe there's a little bit of fear surrounding that. Just major changes in general for everybody involved in this reading. I see you having a gentle heart-to-heart with your person. Some of you I think a lot of you are going to put it in writing first. And maybe that's just to get your head together. But I think there's going to be a conversation where this person may feel very vulnerable. Here's the thing. I'm going to be blunt with you. I think they're going to feel attacked, but I think in time they're going to realize that's not what this was about. This was about, if I'm important to you, I should be able to say what I need to say to you. That's where you're coming from. You have a good heart. You have a good head. You're coming from a good place, but sometimes the truth hurts, Sometimes you got to tell it. I think this will be worth it. I think there will be reason to celebrate. Some of you are very on the fence about marriage because you didn't feel like you were with a person who was a safe guarantee, who didn't offer practicality or reliability. They were a good time and they were fun and you guys love hanging out together. And it's almost like you're together for life, but you were very hesitant to put anything in writing or commit to anything long term, even though they probably expressed that. They're questioning themselves and their self-worth because they're like, Aquarius is my person, and yet they don't want to marry me, or they don't want to move forward in this. They don't want to move in with me. They don't want to have babies with, whatever it is. They don't want to move to the next step with me, and I don't know why. It's like, well, maybe you should share with them why. Some of you are going to marry this person, no question. Some of you are already married to this person, and it's become complacent. It's become stagnant. It's lacking growth. That's where Pluto comes in to be like, all right, we're going to change this. Like demolition time, baby. Bring in the wrecking ball, and let's rebuild even better. Let's build it stronger. Self-care oracle for Aquarius. Whoa, so many, but they're short. We'll do it all. Born to stand out. Don't fit in. Stand in your power and be proud of your individuality. That's a very 9 of Pentacles. Open up. You are being asked to open your heart to another, to let down your walls and trust that they want what's best for you. Your life will open up in wonderful ways once you decide to open up. Financial goals. Set and reach your financial goals to achieve financial stability. This very well may be going out to your partner. And I mean, do keep in mind, sometimes the roles are reversed, right? For the cross watcher, I'm probably talking about your Aquarius, right? But it's like we're always the hero in our own journey, but you have to acknowledge the other side of it. It's like, what about you is allowing your partner to exist in this kind of complacency? Are you coddling them? Are you catering too much to their sensitivities and not wanting to scare them off or not wanting to rock the boat? I don't typically associate that with Aquarius, but shit happens, right? People's charts are complicated. So, there may be a lot of factors weighing in on this is what I'm trying to say. Declutter, let go of old items, create a new sacred space for yourself. Yeah, some of you might be moving with that Wheel of Fortune and Pentacles, the assessment, what do we keep, what do we let go of? That's actually bringing up much greater topics and ideas and conversations that it's like long withheld conversations that I think they're slowly being expressed. Very likely an Aquarius season. There may be a topic around the month of your birth in terms of major steps and big changes happening in your family, in your work, in the lives of your children, etc., where some of this may come to light. Let it, allow it. It's meant to happen. 8 of Wands to the 9 of Cups, though, says things are moving in a very positive direction. There's growth and there's things taking off in terms of like your long-term wish fulfillment that has been put on the back burner because of life circumstances. The Hierophant, yeah. How committed to this person are you? To be honest, I think a lot of you are very committed. Again, some of you are going to get married to this person. And there might be something untraditional about your marriage or your union, or maybe you're not married, but you're married. Like, do you know what I mean? The Lovers. And look how happy they are. Like, this is a great Lovers card. Sometimes the Lovers card is like there's a mountain between them. There's so much going on. How will these karmics, these souls ever connect? These people love each other. They look elated to be with each other. We got to get that magic back. We got to get that spark back where you're not rolling your eyes at your person. You know, you're not like just troubled or irritated or nagged or just feeling very like ugh when you see them, because some of you are kind of starting to foray into that territory where it's like it's taking a toll on you. It feels like you have a roommate and they're living rent free, only like they're also sleeping in your bedroom. Like, it very much feels like that. Some of you may have a friend who has outstayed their welcome and you need to kind of politely, you know, kick them to the curb and encourage them to move on. Someone may have outstayed their welcome. And then you have a lot of major arcanas coming through again. So death, Scorpio energy. Again, transformation. What can we cut out? What is no longer useful? What is no longer necessary? What is spoiled? What is rotten? How do we get rid of what is toxic and keep things fresh and alive again? And then success. Cool. All right, let's get you one of these and then we'll wrap it up with one final oracle card. I hope this empowers you, Aquarius. That's only what I am ever trying to do in these readings. Please do like the video, leave a comment, leave an emoji, anything. Help my channel gain some traction. Something about Billy Idol. I have no idea what that is. Not Billie Eilish, although maybe that too, but Billy Idol. 80s rocker, White Wedding. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. White Wedding. I don't know. Is that song significant to you? Do you have a Billy Idol t-shirt? Did you see him live in concert? Do you own that CD or that cassette? Something about Billy Idol. I just heard that. Funny. I am not underestimating my own magic anymore. Magic, power, beginning, and transformation. Perfect. You have a lot of transformative energy here. You have the Pluto card. You have the Death card, which is Scorpio. And then you have that. The message is clear. Open up. Speak your truth. Say what you need to say. I've said it to several signs already, but you're never going to say the wrong thing to the right person. It may take them some time to digest and process what you've said, but that doesn't mean you're in the wrong. In fact, I mean, again, that's going to separate who you're meant to be with. If you can't honestly approach your person and confront them with something that means a lot to you, depending on their reaction, that's going to tell you a lot. That's going to tell you a lot. Dance and celebration. Look at you with the celebration card. Double celebration. So I'm going to read from the book. Capricorn season, Earth magic. Let's dance. That makes me think of David Bowie. Put on your red shoes and dance the blues. Actually, that's so funny. I just did Scorpio's reading and they had something about red shoes. Weird. And they came up in your reading. All right, so double down on this if you're dating or seeing an Aquarius or, I don't know. I'm sorry, not an Aquarius, a Scorpio. Weird. That was totally just linked in my head. Okay, sorry. Moving on. Yep. Annie, get it together. Girl, get it together. Here we go. Dance. The sacredness of any celebration is dependent upon the quality of spirit that is present. The quality of spirit is greater to the degree that you are fully present with minimal inhibitions about expressing your joy and happiness through physical movement. Focus on what you want to celebrate. Put on some music and dance, whether slow or fast, sing a song while you do so. Make one up about what you most have to celebrate. God's wish is for everyone to enjoy their time on earth, and part of that wish is to celebrate your capacity to be joyous and express it through your body. Whether it's primitive, with small groups of friends, or a large communal gathering, let music, song, and dance be a part of your sacred ceremony, regardless of what you are celebrating. For truly, any celebration is sacred. I love that. I absolutely love that. Put on your tunes. Music therapy, baby. It always works for me. Aquarius, thanks for joining me today. Please remember to like, share, subscribe. I love you guys, and I will see you very soon for more tarot.